Minutes late.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, GameHounds episode 533. I'm Edie Sellers.
Cool.
With me is Goalie and Nick, and we just finished doing some lines for what was it? Grandpa's closet,
Grandpa's hidden
Grandpa's
chest.
Grandpa's hidden chest. And
Grandpa ties his boobs down.
so have you done the first episode yet? I mean, is that I have not listened to it. You told me that it was out, but is it out for everyone to hear?
Yeah, episode 1 and 2 are up at grandpa'shiddenchest.com. And I just started to put together the third one there. And that's where you guys come in playing a part of, some government agents, so to speak. And it's been fun. This is just going by the seat of my pants. And I have no idea where this is going, how it's all going to tie in. I'm trying to keep a timeline of the guy's life, so I know when he was born
good.
and when he died. And so, I mean, it's going to be weird because he did a lot of things when he was 18, 19 years old, but that's kind of how the story's going to have to go. But I want to have him live right up to 2015, 2016, have him live to be 90, 92 years old. You know what I mean? Not that he's still an active agent by any means, but I mean, I want to keep that going. I want to keep everything from like World War II right up through a few years ago, basically is what I want to have him, his timeline be. And it's just fun. I just kind of, I talk to some people, we come up with some ideas, and every time we expand on the plot line, I'm adding some new effects and, things like that. It's just fun. It's stupid fun. Something I've always wanted to do. And so I got to start recording. I've just been busy this week with work, but I'm going to start recording episode 3 and figure out what he's going to do. What, is he going to talk about aliens, or is he going to talk to vampires, or what's he going to do? And the fun thing is because if you listen to the first couple episodes, he tore apart everything in the chest, so it's all out of order. So now when he looks at something or puts in a tape, it could be from 1960, 1980, 1950, 2010. You don't know when he recorded this because he took everything out of the chest and it's all out of order. And I explained that in one of the episodes too.
Yeah, and that seems real helpful too when you're trying to think up stories, because you can set it anywhere and it's all justified. You don't.
It's all random. Nothing's chronological order. I do have to keep, like any other story, like even like a time travel story. You got to kind of keep things. You want to have some checks and balances. But it's just silly fun, having fun with that. But I'm trying to get some people on the show, and you guys just did a spot for me, and I'll plug that into the next one, and should work out well. Saw a really neat show on Netflix, a movie, a time travel movie, Time Trap, it was called. I love time travel stuff. And it was about these people that
I think I saw that.
The guy went into a cave, and there was a cowboy, and the cowboy was had his gun drawn, and he was standing still. And the guy's like, "What's the hell's going on with this cowboy?" And he's looking, and the cowboy wasn't moving. And as he went in, there was this bubble in this cave. He's like, "This is weird." And so he went through the bubble. And as soon as he did, the cowboy ran down into the cave. And he looked back, and lights started flashing all over the place outside the cave. So he leaves that little bubble area and goes back outside. It's like, he's like, "Hey, where's my dog? I had my dog here. I can't find my..." And he goes back to his car, and it's covered in vegetation. Like it's been sitting there for years and years and years. And turns out there's a time trap inside that cave. And it gets really... Dick, did you see the whole movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and they did a good job. Even with the ending as far off as a way, they did a good job with it.
They did. It's one of those super low budget movies that you watch and you're like, it just has a good story at the core of it. And the concept of the trap and what it does and what it means, they kind of wring all they can out of it and to get some interesting ideas out of it. It's like I can tell.
Simple,
yeah, it's I can tell that you guys had no money and you had one cave set, and you're like, we just need to set everything here. But it's you actually did everything you could with this concept. I came out of that being like, wow, I'm impressed. These guys
it was, and it was kind of neat because you put yourself... I kept putting myself in the bubble and out of the bubble. If I'm looking into the bubble, what I'm seeing, and if I'm looking out of the bubble, what I'm seeing, and what is life outside the bubble, what is life inside the bubble. Mm-hmm. And it was really neat how they did a good job with it. It really did. I couldn't really find any plot holes in that time travel movie. It just was really kind of neat, So yeah, Time Trap on Netflix. It just come out of nowhere, and I don't usually watch movies, but yesterday I said I'm gonna watch a movie before work, and I was glued to that one. It was good.
Yeah, that was one of those ones where I know a lot of people don't like those autoplay Netflix trailers. Like, they find it super annoying, and Netflix actually put out an update that lets you disable them. I like those,
I do too.
and that was one where I was like, Time Trap, this kind of has a cool logo on it, and I just watched the 2-minute trailer, and it was like, the trailer was just a scene, and it was like someone going down to the cave and other people going like, hello, can you hear us? What, are you still there? And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued enough by this little clip. I'll watch it.
But what they did too was when the guy said, I think down here time goes at a different pace than up there. And that got me too. So it's like, so if he's radioing up the top, then the person what I thought was kind of like, remember the Stargate episode when they had the Stargate going and it was sucking time? There was an episode of Stargate where the Stargate opened up and it was like a black hole was sucking it. And so everything was stopped in time down there, and everything up top was going at a different pace. You know, and they're like, we haven't heard from them in weeks, and they were like calling them constantly. You know what I mean? But it's just the time dilation that happened between the surface and everything down below. That's what I thought it was going to be like, and it was similar to that. You know, but
speaking of time suck, can we get to start the show?
Should we get to the weather?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it like?
All right. So, starting the show now.
It's clear and sunny over here.
Roger that, Stallion 6.
Temperate 65 degrees.
You should change your name to Stallion 6.
I'm SS. No, wait, that's not good. No.
An itch.
If I feel like it's like a Charlie Chaplin movie or something. Like, oh, what? What's going on?
Okay, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 533. We are recording this on February 18th, 2020, and we are here with, I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Holy Goalie, Nick D. Nicola. Hi, guys.
AC Wraith is on his shit.
AC Wraith is on it.
Yep.
Linking stuff even before the show starts.
Yeah. We had a good pre-show here on YouTube. We talked about, Nick and Edie just did a spot for me from one of my drama podcasts. And we talked about, me and Nick were talking about Time Trap, the time travel movie we each saw on Netflix. So that's what we're talking about on the YouTubes.
Yep. And we are on YouTube right now. GameHounds vids on YouTube. We are also on Facebook video. Under the GameHounds, you will find us, the GameHounds page. We are recording and live, and we have AC Wraith in the house. We have Lambo Calrissian, who's watching us via YouTube. Nobody in Spreaker, but we just started up the Spreaker, so that's to be expected. Yeah, your drama podcast. Talk about that. We talked about this literally last week. You're like, hey, we should do this podcast about Grandpa's chest, and it's essentially drama, like
it's
a old radio drama.
Yeah,
old time radio.
You
drama,
already got 2 episodes up now.
Yeah, I got 2 episodes up. I don't know, maybe we talked about it last week, maybe we didn't. I'm not sure. I know I talked about it.
Was it 2 weeks ago that we talked about it?
No,
I thought it was just last week.
It would have been last week that I was getting it up. Yeah, so I got 2 episodes up, and I'm starting episode 3, and you guys help me out do episode 3 at Grandpa's Hidden Chest, grandpa'shiddenchest.com on Spreaker. It's just something fun I'm doing. It's a side project. I've always wanted to do something like this, and I finally am doing it. It's just fly by the seat of my pants. I'm kind of writing this thing on the fly, but because it's such an open-ended show where the guy just goes into the chest and starts listening to tapes that are in no order at all. So it could be, from the 40s, 50s, 60s, or modern day, depending what he listens to. And it's just having some fun with it. It's all I'm doing there. And I suppose there'll be a bigger picture that unfolds at some point, but I haven't thought it through that much yet. I have a couple of ideas of what I thought would be kind of fun for an overall theme of the individual episodes. But aside from that, we're having some fun with it. But that time travel movie, that was a fun one. Just the time dilation thing. That's a good one there. So, but Lambo Calrissian, boy, I looked real quick, Lambo, and he's like, hello guys, long time no see. He goes, thanks to the podcast, D&D has taken over my life. And when I looked at it real quick with my eyes, you know something? I thought it said S&M has taken over my life. And I was
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, Lambo, way to go, my man. High fives. And then I was like, oh, D&D. Now what is D&D? Is it Dungeons and
Jeez.
Dragons?
Mhm.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's daggers and dildos. You don't want to get those mixed up.
No.
So congratulations! I'm so glad that you're into D&D now. I'm curious to know, what about, was it, you saying it's this podcast that got you into the D&D? And I'm wondering what was about this podcast that put you into the D&D, because we have actually never we've reviewed tabletop, but we've never actually done. Nobody here.
I think we've
I
talked a
have,
little
but
bit
not with
about
any of you
D&D.
guys on the show.
Mm.
Play D&D.
I don't think I played D&D since 1983.
Oh, it's so awesome.
It was fun back then.
We have we've started a group, me, Caitlin, and some of our friends. We didn't do it last week, because she was tired and there's a lot going on the 3-day weekend.
Mhm.
But we played 2 rounds so far. It's pretty good.
Cool.
I'm a charismatic hero who just wants to get revenge on the dragon that destroyed his hometown.
Nice. The Lambo Calrissian says, Nick was my intro to Critical Role. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Critical Role. If there is one entity that can be credited with the resurgence, and I'm talking about a huge resurgence of D&D, it's Critical Role. They brought so many more people, including me, back to the game.
I think I've told this story before on the show, that when we were playing that back in the 80s, I was, sophomore in high school, whatever it was. Before we had our license, before we could drive anywhere. So we were playing, and buddy come over the house, and we're playing. And we if you had 100 swords, you carried them all with you. That's how we just did. We just totally just played the way we wanted to play. And so I was trying to be the DM, and he was being a jerk in this game. And he lost the battle, right? And he's like, oh, your guy's almost dead. And he's just like, oh, the heck with this. I said, well, maybe pray to your God, and maybe he'll save you. He's like, no, I hate my God. And I rolled the dice, and a 20 come up. And I said, your guy takes double damage. Your character is dead. And no, he's not. He's not dead. And he's crying, literally crying. He takes all his papers and his notes, and my character's not dead. I'm out of here. And he freaking left in tears. It's just like, I rolled a 20. He's dead. Oh, that's my Dungeons and Dragons.
Good old natty 20.
Oh, yeah. That was a good time.
Anything we've played this week?
I played games.
I know. I saw that.
I played video games.
I know. Look at you. Like a real boy.
I'm going to share my screen, actually, of one of the games I played. Oh boy, hang on a sec here. I gotta do this the right way. So I gotta go to share my screen in my Chrome tab, and this is what I'm going to share. Okay, and full screen. Okay, can you see it?
Yep. All
right, so this is The Division 2, which, thanks to the GameHounds podcast, I was able to pick up for $3.
$3. Is it still $3 on PlayStation?
I don't know if it is still, but last week I picked it up. It's just the basic game, and if you want the deluxe game, it's $40. Whatever it is, like, yeah, no thanks. So I picked that up, and it's been okay. I just been playing myself. What I didn't like about this, and maybe I missed something, but it felt like in the first one you got a pretty good tutorial of how to play the game and how to use your skills, and in this one I felt like I was thrown in, and it was like, I hope you remember everything from 1. That's kind of how I felt when I played this. Okay. It plays pretty much like 1 that I can remember. It was for $3. I had a good weekend of playing this. I really did. But I just wish that they would have given me a refresher course on some of this stuff. One thing is, it is different. You can see my drone in there. So now I have a drone that flies around and shoots people, and that makes it a lot of fun. And but it just like I didn't even know how to throw a grenade, for crying out loud. I had to figure that out on my own. There's just like a lot of little things in there that it didn't show me. But for $3, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now. But yeah, absolutely. Division 2 for $3. Yeah. I mean, how can you not? That was good. That was a good take, Division 2. Over, honestly, what
now how much did you play and what level did you get to?
On the first or the second one?
This one.
I think I got. Boy, I think I went to level 3. Not that far.
We should play. We should get together and we should play.
Yeah, because I kept is I was getting these requests. It's like, hey, an agent needs help, so I could have joined someone else online and played. But I was like, no, I want to feel this out myself. At first, I just want to play some of this. So, but yeah, so it was fun to get back into playing shooter games. I picked up BioShock the Collection. That was free, right, on PlayStation. So I got that one there. There's a lot of free stuff I got. The Division was PlayStation. BioShock was PlayStation. On the Xbox, I got that motorcycle racing game, TT Racing Island or something.
TT Isle of Man.
Yeah. Boy, I downloaded that and I played it for like 55 seconds. And I was just like, yeah. No, I'm very particular about racing games because I'm not that good at racing games. So it either feels good or it doesn't, and it didn't feel good. It wasn't smooth. It's not for me. So my motorcycle was like all over, and I crashed, and I was like, yeah, we're done. So I deleted that. But what game I did get for free that I have been enjoying is that Call of Cthulhu.
Really?
That I don't have any gameplay because it's on Xbox, and I don't have a law degree to figure out how to stream on Xbox. But if you can probably find footage of it, this is it's basically a walking simulator. It reminds me of Dragon Oranges, where you have different talking points with people, and you know, so you're just trying to discover what the heck's going on, and it's set in Boston. And right after World War I, and you're a detective, and you go off to this fictional island off the coast of Boston, and you try to find out, you know, why these people died in a fire. And you run into the local politics and the shakedowns on this island, and it's, you know, during Prohibition, and it's that kind of, you know, cops when the cops are on there. It's it's fun. It really is. Call of Cthulhu is a fun game. You just walk around and talk to people, and you get clues. And you follow the story, and this is such an old man game. It's great. I could see it's a very much a point and click adventure game on the Xbox is what it feels like. It feels like this could be a point and click game. Just there's no real puzzles to solve. At least I haven't come across any yet. But you're walking around the island, you're walking through the house, and you're looking for things, and you see the magnifying glass, and you go click on it, and you look at something and get a clue, and yada yada yada. But I heard this was mixed things about this game, but I am liking the game. I'm liking the game. The setting is kind of neat. It's that foggy island, kind of isolated feel to it. Very turn of the century type of feel. Just enjoying. It's very green, as you can see. It's very green. And yeah, you have these little, I think this is one of the memory things there that happens, whereas that you go into a room and it says hold the trigger buttons, and you can kind of have a flashback to the past. And so you got to go, you know, in this little flashback like you're in, you can't leave the room, and you got to just find all the clues in the room. And then when you're done, you come out of the flashback. But that's part of his detective stuff. So he can say, hey, you know, this fire looks like it was purposely set, you know, and it looked like somebody was killed over here and the body was dragged over here, you know, stuff like that. It's just
like
fun
that stuff.
Yeah, this is a fun. See, he's looking at this guy here, and it's like, this guy here was probably robbing the chest, you know, or whatever it is. So there's these little dream sequences that you do. As far you know, like I say, this guy, you can't leave the room until you find all the clues. Sometimes these clues are a bastard to find too. But so this is further along in the game. I haven't got to this point here where we're playing, but it is fun. And you talk to people and you make decisions, and there's a little bit of role playing there, whereas you get these skills. And then you can upgrade your character to do different things. Maybe you can pick locks better, or maybe you can talk to people better, or whatever. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu is a point and click game. They it's almost a walking simulator, but it's a little bit more than that. But I am enjoying it.
So Heartbreak Ridge says if you want to do a Division 2 GameHounds Playdate, he's down for that. He has it on Xbox, but he got it on PS4 because $3.
Oh yeah, because $3. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people picked it up because $3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I will
Makes me pissed that I spent 60 on it.
Yeah, but you
Well,
never
you
know.
also played it. You played it a year ago.
Yeah.
Has it really been a
Right.
year?
Yeah, these things are to
Division
come down
2
to
has
3.
been out for a year?
I think so, yeah.
At least a year, yeah.
Yep.
If not longer.
Uh,
Division 2.
I don't think so.
Initial release date, February 7th, 2019.
Yeah.
God, has it really been
Been
a
almost
year?
exactly a year.
Holy crap.
Wow. And so so that's a good deal. I'll get that for $3. I'm happy with that. You know, it always sucks when you buy, like, I bought the whole BioShock collection on Xbox and on PC for just a few dollars, and now it's free. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu is fun. The Division 2 is fun. TT Island of Man, motorcycle racing, not so much fun. And I think that's all I was doing. But I at least I've been playing video games, and I got a chance to dust off the Xbox with that Call of Cthulhu.
I'm so glad.
I just wish I could stream with that. You know, I stream, like I said, the Division. And what's neat is I can stream it, and then we can watch my stream of the Division here on YouTube when we talk about things on the podcast. Whereas if it's on the Xbox, I haven't figured that out yet. So what are you guys playing? Some fun things.
What am I playing? I am playing, let me go back to it where it was. I'm playing Sims 4. Still playing it on the PS4. And remember last week I said about how Sims 4 on the console, because it's the free game, one of the free games for PlayStation this week or this month. And I said that it was kind of like playing Sims Lite when you play it on a console. As I've been playing it more and more and digging into it a little bit, it's a lot less light than I thought. It actually is. It's Sims. When I played it, Sims on the Xbox 360, I think that was Sims 3. Even I don't think it was Sims 4. On the 360, it was definitely Sims Lite, and I think I was expecting that too much. And after playing it for a lot of hours now, I realized it really does have a lot of it's way more detailed and involved than I initially thought. You can actually use cheat codes. And I did not know that. If I didn't have any problems with my bugs within the game, which are the bugs that everybody has within the game, which is kind of nice that everybody is having the same bugs. If I hadn't had that, I wouldn't have looked to see how you can enter the cheat mode, where you can get into the place where you can enter in the cheat codes.
So are the
actually
cheat
have
codes
that.
like button combinations? Because you can't type messages.
Yes, you can. You hit all 4 triggers at the same time, and it will bring up a little code string, a little place you can enter in your string code.
Okay, but it's like controller inputs.
Right, you have to type everything in using the soft controller, like the regular Sony soft controller that you normally would. But it is, for all intents and purposes, Sims. It's
cool.
Sims without the keyboard, and I am now that I'm getting used to some of the controller shortcuts, I really actually have better control over this than if it was a mouse. Dare I say? Still haven't done anything truly fucked up other than the usual marry some guy who's rich and take his house and then murder him in a pool. I've done that. Because that's how everybody starts The Sims. Everybody who plays the game right starts The Sims. You actually
everybody has removed the ladder from a pool and had So the person drown.
Nope.
Yep.
I usually start a library and help out orphan children.
Yeah, I don't believe that. For a damn
believe
second.
that.
Nope.
I got an itch. Hang on.
The actually you can't kill somebody by just taking out the pool to the ladder to kill them in a pool anymore.
You really?
They
They
will
can
jump
get
out of the
out
pool.
without the.
You have to build a fence around. You have to get them in the
Wow.
pool, and you have to build a fence around the pool.
There's still ways to make them drown.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't stop us from drowning, The Sims EA.
So run up a couple of bugs. Bugs are just a thing. Researching them, found out same bugs that they've been in this game since 2015, and yeah, so it's still a problem.
They must not have decided that fixing them is very
Oh,
important.
it's so many of these bugs. Sims have something called an aspiration, which is you get, by doing certain things, you get points that you can use to buy traits, like you don't need to eat as much, or you get promoted faster, or you don't need as much sleep, that kind of stuff. Or also potions that are like instant hygiene, instant health, not instant health, but instant hygiene, instant hunger, instant, and all of your traits that would normally you'd have to take care of and spend time doing. So you get a potion and just take care of them. So these points are kind of important, and getting the aspirations done is the best way of doing it, because you get several thousand points instead of 50 or 60 at a time if you were just doing small whims, as they call it, which are small actions. And a lot of these aspirations don't fulfill correctly, and some of them are done in such a way that if you follow a certain path, which I ended up doing, you can't fulfill them because of the bug. I have taken the path of being a professional comedian, and one of the ways that you have to practice at night, your quote unquote homework, is you have to write comedy routines. So I wrote a ton of comedy routines, not knowing that there was a game limit, that you could only have 7 long routines and 7 medium routines written, or sorry, 8 and 8 written in your catalog of comedy. And there is an aspiration that's called Joke Star, that if you don't have that one chosen when you're doing the writing of the comedy routines, it doesn't register that you have written comedy routines. So you choose Joke Star. If you're already maxed out to 8 fully of all of your comedy routines, you can't write anymore. So what ends up happening is that you pull up this aspiration and you can't write what the aspiration calls you to write 2 comedy routines. You can't write anymore, so you're stuck. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that one.
Kind of
so you just pick
shitty.
another aspiration, like serial romancer, which means you just go around.
But then
fucking
that
people.
also does that prevent you from progressing in the comedy routine, like the comedy career?
No, not at all. It's just an aspiration. I'm all
Okay.
level 10. I'm
Okay.
already doing my comedy routines in space at this point. Yes, you can do comedy routines in space,
Of course you can.
which is actually kind of nice. It's a new thing. It's an astronaut astronaut career track. You can you can build your own rocket ship in the backyard and go up into space and explore space. And when you do, you encounter aliens, and you don't see anything. It just gives you prompts of things that are happening. Like you meet up with this, and it's multi-step prompts. So it's a little bit like a mini story
Oh, that's cool.
that goes on, which is kind of neat.
I did hear that that comedy club in space that you were talking about. I did hear the food's good, but there's no atmosphere.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You suck. AC Ray says my aspirations have the same bug. Yeah. So there's a lot from what I've been reading in the EA forums. There are a lot of aspirations that are bugged. And it's not just console, it's for the PC, it's for everything. And there are literally, a thread that EA keeps putting up
I
called
need to check.
aspirations not fulfilling. It keeps getting, and I've been researching this and keep finding them going back to 2015. And essentially, they start a thread that says aspirations not filling. It fills up with people who can't get their aspirations to fill. Then they shut that thread down, archive it, and then open another thread that says aspirations not filling, and everybody fills it. And it's like they just keep doing that. And instead of actually fixing the aspirations not filling, they're just I mean, I think that they have done some, but there's a lot of them that have been a bug that have been pretty known for like many years.
At least they
And
do add stuff. I've heard that like there's a ton of expansions for it.
There's a
So-
ton of expansions, and they're all 50% off right now, which is, I haven't bought any because I wanted to kind of explore the game to say, is it really worth it for me to actually spend any money on it? And I would say, yeah, I think that I am going to probably buy one or more of the packs. That being said, we talk about Grand Theft Auto making a lot of money for Rockstar. Holy shit. The Sims. Can you think about how much money The Sims has made for EA
I mean, I think
over
it's
the years? I mean, it's still selling, and they're still
Yeah.
selling expansion packs.
I think it's one of the like quiet blockbusters. It's one of those games that
God, yes.
you don't hear a lot of, but that still makes a lot of money. And EA is like, yeah, we're not gonna give up on this because this is what's helping us survive when Need for Speed flops. or
When
something
you
like
look
that.
at 20 years of consistently good sales, not great sales, not the kind of sales that you would put into, like headlines or do a press release or even talk about in earnings calls. But if you think about how much money, and I'm curious now that The Sims have hit 20, if EA, I would love to know if EA could go back, let us know how much money has Sims made over the history of The Sims. And I would easily venture to guess it is in the billions.
Yeah.
For
man.
I don't know if
20
I'd say
years,
billions.
20 years. A billion might be tough, but it's been
Yeah.
20 years.
it's been out for a lot of years. It still is a solid, consistent seller. It is still one of the most popular video game titles even today. If you go online, you will see, like, for example, you go to gameplay videos for other games, they range. However many there are, however many people watch. Sims gameplay videos do well, always. And especially if you're doing anything interesting or novel with them. I mean, I hate to bring him up again, but Gray still plays. For example, the guy that essentially does fucked up things and is hilarious doing them in all kinds of games, whether they be mobile or PC or any. He's even done some VR games. If you look at the amount of views that he gets for all of his episodes consistently, his Sims gameplay videos are at least double of what everything else is. They are a money machine, and there's quite a lot of people that play it, and quite a lot of people
Okay.
super fucking devoted to it.
Well, according to Wikipedia, as of October 2019, all of the Sims games combined have generated a lifetime sales of more than 5 billion.
Told you.
So
Told you.
I stand corrected.
It's a huge community. And you know what's kind of crazy? And I did not realize about The Sims, and it kind of sets the broad appeal of the game. They haven't fixed the aspirations. But when you create your sim now, you can actually not only, could used to be that you would pick male or female. And that set up not only what your character looked like, but also how your character sounded and how your character acted in some ways in the environment, like what they did in the bathroom, whether they stood or sat. Now you actually can pick a gender or a non-binary gender, and if you do pick a gender, you don't actually have to let it. You can. It's asking you: do you want it to sit down when it pees or stand up? Do you want it to? How do you want your voice? High or low? You can actually pitch shift your voice, so you can have a female character that sounds very male, or do you? It's essentially it is gender fluid as you could possibly be, and it says who their audience is. It is non-traditional gamers, at least is what we see of the cis teenage boy gamer, or even cis bro male. It is anti-Riot Games, let's just say. And
It's just
that
people that like
community,
character creations.
when that kind when though these non-traditional communities find, or even I would hate to say fringe because it makes it sound like they're on the outside, but communities that have been excluded from a lot of what's considered quote unquote normal, when they find something that embraces them, they absolutely buy in 100% and they stick with it. And Sims is one of those games that is open to all. It is friendly to all. And it's about sharing and caring and sharing your characters, etc. Because you don't actually play together, but you can share your characters online and then go online and then download, like you download somebody else's character. And of course, this all sounds
Wait,
great, but
hang on, I gotta check.
realistically, why do you play The Sims? So you can torture them. That's what you do. You
That
torture them.
someone needs just to make a sim game. You just torture the Sims, and that's all. And you don't have to worry about anything else.
That's pretty much what you can do. That's called The Sims. It's torturing people. And then, not torturing them for a while and then torturing them. Because that's what ends up happening. You start caring for your sim for a while, and then eventually either your sim or some other sim, you start to torture it. And that's what Gray still plays is so great, because he just right into it. He tortures the same Sims over and over again, doing terrible, terrible things. It's essentially a competition to see which of the Sims group of his quote unquote Sims family, including Florida Man, Australia Man, LSD, methamphetamine. And there's this family, and he tortures them to death and to see who's going to survive whatever horrible death.
So he creates his own little saw setup.
Oh, yeah. It's essentially, yeah, he's created pools that are 100 miles long. I mean, 1,000 miles long pool to see, and then with food at the end of it to see who would actually be able to swim to the end to get to the food.
I remember one of the best old blogs that I read long time ago was this person who created a family. It was like an older balding out of work lazy dad and his teenage daughter, and that was it. And they just let it run. They didn't click anything. They didn't play anything. They just let the simulation run itself. And they kind of took pictures and screenshots, and every week they'd kind of document a new series.
How bad it had gotten.
What happened. And I'll always remember, it became strangely poignant at times because the daughter, when she got her first job, she finally got a job. She went working, the first paycheck, and she put it in the mailbox and donated it to a charity. And it was like, oh, wow, that's sweet.
Yeah, case in point, AC Wraith put up link for Gray Still Plays. I made 200 people wait in line for eternity. Yeah, giving a character, one of the characters, putting one of the characters in a house with 100 children, building a super, super, super tiny house, and then putting in 100 Sims inside the house, and then locking the doors to see what happens. It's It's pretty fun. So anyway,
Cool.
Sims 4. If you like Sims on the console, I take back everything I said. No loss. You do not need the computer to have a full Sims experience.
Cool.
Nick, what did you play?
I finally finished Death Stranding.
Oh, good.
It took me about 4 hours one night to see the endings, all of them. I think credits start to run about 3 times over the course of the end game. So
this does not surprise me in the least. Fucking
no,
2 false starts on the credits.
they're not necessarily false starts. Like they go, and it's like, okay, I guess the game is ending now, and then it stops, and then it goes back to something else happens, and then the same credits stop playing again. You're like, I just saw these, but whatever. That game, it's goofy. It's definitely melodramatic. I don't think it works as well as Metal Gear Solid does. I think the setting of Metal Gear Solid is a way better fit for Kojima's storytelling tendencies, his quirks, his desire to get really. It's the kind of game where everything is somehow over-explained and yet still confusing. So by the end of it, he has spent, a good several hours wrapping up every dangling plot thread and explaining everything. And I still come out of it so wait, what was this? Why did this happen? I don't quite get this. And I think that his desire to over-explain everything works really well in the Metal Gear style conspiracy world, because it's always at least a little grounded in reality. Like when it gets off the rails, it does so with giant robots and nanomachines and cybernetic ninjas, but it's all at least kind of wrapped around this realistic political political framing of it's like, oh, this secret conspiracy of the nation makes sense because you've got a organization that wants to stay in power or something like that. With this game, he tries to create a secret history of the world, like a secret history of Earth. And when it gets really elaborate and off the rails, it's cool. Like the ending gets downright biblical in its scope and scale and the melodrama of what's going on. And so that's really neat. But rationally, a lot of the emotional through line that it thinks is there is not there. A lot of the game is really hinges on the relationship between Sam and Amelie, who is his sister. And Amelie is someone that took the trek west to the West Coast first, and then her organization, her group, kind of got ambushed by terrorists, and she's kind of stuck on the West Coast being held captive, and she's like the next president. And so that's what really motivates Sam to get out there, because he doesn't care about America. He doesn't care about the United Cities of America. He's doing this to save his sister. And so that emotional connection is supposed to be a major through line. But whenever they talk and whenever they meet through the beaches and everything, it's all very flat. And when you get to the end and it's supposed to be like a big melodramatic moment, it's kind of like watching a drama student do a really emotional monologue where it's like, this is good acting. I'm impressed by what you're doing. I have no emotional connection to what you're doing because you literally just watching a monologue, but it's very good. You're very good.
Did you die in this game or die a lot in this game?
I did die a couple times, and Sam is a special type of person, and so when he dies, he can actually come back to life. And so what that means is when I die, I kind of get pulled out of my body, and it's like I'm swimming around, and I kind of just have to swim back towards my body, and I
Okay.
come back to life kind of right in that exact same spot.
Now, we just watched a video here of him rocking the baby, and you have talked about that in the past. If you do too much swaying, then you got to calm the baby down.
I did notice
Now, does that come into play a lot, and does that disrupt the flow of the game?
No, it comes into play a fair amount. Like this, whoever is playing in this has gotten themselves into a shit situation. This person is an idiot because I know this mission.
This is Edie's stream, by the way.
Really? This is you playing?
No,
Okay.
I haven't played it yet.
This person is an idiot.
I was gonna say no, because seriously, idiot. Because
that'd be funny.
this mission was very much go into this like area filled with ghosts and acid rain, timefall, and get me this thing. Like, you are gonna go into an area that is fucked up, and to see that person walked into that area stacked as high as they possibly could with stuff is like, why did you go in there with, like, you prep for your missions, right? You go to a shelter, you drop off all the unnecessary weight, and then you go into the dangerous area to get your shit. You don't carry all the shit. And look, oh God, look at his back. He hasn't auto arranged his cargo to make it most efficient. This is just disgusting. This is disgusting. I can't watch this bullshit.
Turn it off.
But the stuff with BB it's neat. Like he only really gets stressed out when you're in a shitty situation. Like if you're surrounded by ghosts or if you're surrounded by terrorists trying to shoot at you. At first he's fine, but as that encounter progresses and gets worse and worse and worse, he will get more stressed out. And so that leads to some really good moments of tension where it's like, I need to calm my BB, but first I need to find a place to hide. And then when he gets all the way stressed out, he doesn't die or anything. Instead, he kind of like shuts down. And you have to go back to a shelter and rest in order to get him back up. But it's one of those games where everything feels really important and really singular and like everything's life or death in the moment. But once you die a couple times, once you lose a couple packages, you can realize, actually, no, it's fine. Like if you fail everything, it's fine. Like if you have a package and you fuck it up, it's fine. Because if it's a story mission, the story is just going to keep going. And if you fuck it up, then you'll just have to wait a bit and then the story mission will repeat. They'll give you that package again. Like all of the deliveries repeat. So whatever you fuck up, it's fine because you'll get a chance to do it again in like a couple hours. But yeah, the ending, it gets out there. I'm still like not quite sure I know what the point of the story is. Like I know what he's trying to say, but the plot feels a little like I said, it's both over explained and still way too vague. Like there are elements of the universe and how the beaches interact and how the beach connects to the seam, which connects to the real world and all that is kind of confusing still. But I really liked the universe. I think it's a cool universe. I like the look of the game, the aesthetics of it all, and I liked the gameplay. I liked wandering around with packages and delivering it for stuff. I found it oddly satisfying, even if the story, it's an interesting story and it's an interesting universe and it's an interesting like apocalyptic. An evolutionary apocalyptic tale that he's trying to explain. Like it's almost like he's trying to write a much more scientifically sound what's the Bible book that's all about the end of the world? Reckoning? Revelations.
Revelations.
He's trying to make a much more scientifically, a pseudoscientific Revelations. That's what Death Stranding is. Which is very interesting. There's a lot of ideas in there that I appreciate and respect, even if it doesn't all come together coherently in the end. But I'm like, I like what you did, and I enjoyed playing it. So yeah.
Good deal. So anything else we want to talk about before we hit the news? No.
I had a very bad pick on my movie league, and I was like in 5,000th place. I did not pick the right. I didn't put Sonic the Hedgehog in my lineup, and it turns out Sonic the Hedgehog did fucking great. It exceeded the expectations for the box office. So fucking
I hear
Sonic.
it's great. I hear Sonic is great. I want to go see it now.
Really?
I did not expect that, but damn.
Yep, I want to see it now.
Okay.
So yeah, I made a terrible mistake. I didn't include Sonic and I didn't include Parasite, and both of those movies overperformed to the point where it's like I fucked up.
I heard
God
Jim
damn.
Carrey was
Damn.
unbelievable in Sonic.
Mhm. I believe that.
I haven't seen it, but I
I do
want to
think
see it now.
he's a good choice for that, for Robotnik. He's wacky enough.
All right. So on that note, shall we hit the news?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, used, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is anyone?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So I keep thinking that the diaper cat is in the litter box, and I don't want him to poop in the diaper in the litter box. I don't want to waste the diaper.
This is
so
news.
I keep getting
This is
distracted.
what you brought.
This is
trying-
top news, breaking news.
Breaking
I'm
news.
trying to
Diaper
explain-
Cat shit his own
I'm
diaper.
trying to explain why I keep looking back and why I keep distracted. It's because Diaper Cat is out and about. Normally, he's in the bathroom, like sleeping and napping, but this morning before I woke up, Caitlin let him out and put a diaper on him, and now he's wandering and he's getting all sorts of cat shit. Not little cat shit, but just cat shit.
And people right
Metaphorical
now,
cat shit.
are begging me for a weather update. Just saying.
Okay, PlayStation 5. Fuck it. Fuck diapers. Fuck cats. Let's talk about PlayStation 5.
Okay.
This comes from Bloomberg. Apparently, the manufacturing costs for the PlayStation 5 are around $450, and Sony is kind of having a difficult time getting that lower. And so the articles is a lot about, the challenges of that.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it,
Especially
article
right
says-
now, since nothing's going on in China, and that's where the manufacturing.
Well,
is
actually,
taking
the
place.
article specifically mentioned that the coronavirus has not impacted the production of it. But what has impacted the production is that it's hard to find a reliable supply of DRAM and NAND flash memory, because that specific memory is in super high demand with smartphones. Has all of them gear up for a new generation of smartphones.
Yeah.
And so it's like that part specifically. And I guess they were going to put out a new camera, a new PlayStation camera, not a VR headset, just a camera. I'm trying to find that pro, but they didn't because it needed that specific memory. But yeah, Sony quote: Sony has already canceled some previously planned features for a new mirrorless camera due this year, owing to the constrained DRAM supply. So they didn't. It's not a PlayStation camera, just a new Sony camera.
Right. It's company wide, all their manufacturing.
So they're holding back. They're not spending DRAM memory on the cameras so that they can spend it on the PlayStation. And that's one thing that's keeping the market cost high. And so that puts them in a difficult situation where if they want to sell it at $400, like they did with the Pro and PS4, they would take a big hit. But a lot of people are speculating that the consoles could be around $500, which would actually be very good for them. And they are very much waiting to see what Microsoft does at E3. So whatever Sony prices it, they are not going to say anything at this point until they see what Microsoft is doing.
And Microsoft knows it too. Because I would imagine Microsoft is having the same problem. They're using the same RAM, aren't they?
They should be, yeah. I mean, it can't be that different.
If Sony's having that problem, Microsoft is having that problem.
Yeah. But it's interesting. Like if they wanted to be very aggressive and they priced the console at at cost at $450, like
Mhm.
that's not an excessive price for people. Considering,
Right.
I think, at least from someone who follows video games, I feel like a lot of people have settled on 500 as the standard price for what these consoles will be, right? Like most people assume it will be 500. If it's lower than that, it will be surprised. If it's higher than that, it'll be like, eh. But I feel like a lot of people have settled on 500 as the most likely price.
Yeah.
So if they
That's the
want to get
tipping point. It really is. Just
exactly, you can't.
$4.99. It's like that's about as far as you're gonna go. And
$4.99. I would have a hard time spending $4.99.
I
And it's
would
kind of
too,
funny.
but
$4.50. It'd be like, oh, I could just probably do $4.50.
Yeah.
it
400 I
depends.
could do, but if
I
they could get it under 400, it's a no-brainer.
yeah,
I doubt they'll do that. 400
No,
would be the
they're not.
lowest.
They
But
can't afford to do that.
yeah, I've been sort of saving up $20 here and there for the past couple months because I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get. I assume it's gonna be $500. I'm ready to spend $500 for it.
Yeah.
I have my
I prefer not
gaming.
to.
I have my gaming money squirreled away with my acorns.
unbelievable. Our boy is growing up. You remember back in the days, like I'm waiting for that to go on sale for $1 before I buy it. I only play
I
mobile
still
games.
do.
I
I
can
still
play
do
10
that
minutes.
with games.
I can play
No,
10
fuck
minutes for
that.
free, and then I quit the game and I download a new game and I play 10 minutes for free.
I
Remember
still
those
do that
days?
with games.
Yeah.
But
Remember those days?
I need the new console to play those games.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a month
Fuck.
until somebody returns one to GameStop, and I'll save $15 on a new console, and I'll buy it from GameStop. Remember those days?
Yeah.
I do hope that I'll be able to trade in my old PS4 to get a discount on this one. That would be great if I could.
You remember him
I don't want to
marching
give
down
the
the
PS
streets
Pro though.
with his 360 flag? You know, while we're all playing Xbox One and PS4, and he just nope. He's the only guy in the parade still holding the 360 flag.
It's true.
What?
You were a late
Yep,
adopter to
can't
the
make
PS4.
me. Nope, can't make me
I
spend
bought
my
a
money.
PS4 day one, motherfucker.
Actually, you're right. He did buy a PS4 day one.
This
And
is
then we
all
bought
fake
another
news.
PS4 day one for one of our listeners who we wanted to play with.
Yeah. Late buying PS4. Fuck you.
Just go with it. It makes for a good story. It's storytelling.
I did have to
time.
buy multiple Xbox 360s because one failed on me. They got red rings.
They all failed on
I-
everybody.
You know,
I
knock
know,
on wood,
I know.
none of mine red ringed, and I had original chipset. I think I have one of the few original chipsets that didn't red ring.
I'll bet you if you went and turned it on right now, it would explode.
I believe Kevin still has it hooked up in his room. I think he does.
I had two bone
There's
out.
probably a nest of cockroaches living inside it.
Possibly. I actually, that's a good question. Of where is that? Is my 360 still in his room, or did we put it downstairs? I would be interested to know if it fires up. It should. It ran
I fired my 360
until I, moved on.
About a year ago, I fired up mine for something to play something. Fine. Yeah.
My first item. PlayStation forums. I have been a part of PlayStation forums, and they're fine. I've never really found anything useful. I've tried to get involved with the community, and apparently I am not the only one who just was not that great with them. So PlayStation forums are now officially going to be shut down as of February 27th. And there's been some lamenting over the loss of it. And it was a very short message that was sent out last week. That says, hello, beginning February 27th, the PlayStation.com forums will no longer be available. We invite you to continue the conversation via PlayStation.blog, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For product support, please visit the support site, PlayStation.com/help. That was the entire message. And I mean, there was a part of me that's like, PlayStation forums weren't that useful. But when they were useful was when you were having a problem with your PlayStation, you could actually communicate to people. And Sony has said that, hey, if you want to communicate with people about issues, go to Twitter. But the problem is that Twitter is not really a great place to talk about issues that you have with your PlayStation. There's just too much flotsam and jetsam, and it's a little bit hard to navigate. And you certainly cannot catch the eye of PlayStation if you have a serious issue, because they don't have any. I mean, they have some, but certainly given the amount of traffic that they have, not enough people responding to Twitter and what's going on. If there is a big issue coming out, but and support help is great for you to talk to PlayStation, but it's not okay. It's not a good place for you to talk to other people who may be having the same issues to see how big an issue is. And the PlayStation blog is just a blog, and they don't allow comments on their blogs. The comments are closed, so you can't actually give any feedback or ask any questions.
Well, you need that because, remember the time that I ordered Gears of War and I was supposed to get the codes for Gears? Did I ever tell you guys that story about how I didn't get the codes for Gears of War? All right, so here's what happened, right? Did I tell that story?
Yeah, you did.
All right. I won't tell it again. I won't tell it again, but it's important to have these forums.
We want to move, Hambrick Ridge says in the chat room, we want to move people to moderate the forums to more useful jobs. Yeah, or, not hire more people to fill those jobs elsewhere from the rest of the world because it's too expensive. So we're just shutting down the forums and moving those people to more useful jobs. Yeah, AC Ray says, from what I've read, there was a lot of fixes in the forum. Yeah, there were. If you had some kind of issue with your PlayStation and you needed to have a community to talk to, some people who would talk back and forth about how I fixed this issue, you might want to try it.
Yeah. Or one of those places will I got error code 18G65F-3. What does this mean?
Yeah. Then somebody would say, hey, this is what I think it is or how I fixed it. Yeah. I mean, why? I don't get it. So, bummer.
So yeah, February 27th. So if you want to take a tour of the PlayStation blogs before they shut down, I'd recommend doing it this week because they're going to be gone next week. End of the month, gone.
What next? They're going to take away PlayStation Home?
I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think that died a long time ago.
Whoa.
Okay.
What do you mean? They're taking away that too? There's going to be nothing left. Serious.
So anybody else got anything?
Next, they're going to shut down the PSP.
Do you know what I'm going to do, Nick? I'm going to take my laptop. I'm going to go into that cave with a time dilation, and they can never get rid of it. They can never shut it down in time dilation.
No, you know what you do? Forever. You just walk in there and then hop out, and then you'll be like into the future, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get this PlayStation Forums Part 2. They're shutting down the PlayStation forums so they can create the PlayStation 5 forums. Branding.
It'd probably be like PlayStation 755 by the time we get out of that time dilation.
Yeah, they just inject a chip into your head.
So you got anything?
Yeah. There's a free update to No Man's Sky that actually seems really cool because it's an update that allows you to grow your own living ship. I don't know how the mechanical aspects of this work, but basically it's literally a ship that you grow. It's a living ship. And they can't actually be upgraded by normal means. You kind of have to nurture them into whatever specs you want. And the chips are procedurally generated. So, kind of like any other living thing, once you start growing it, you're not quite sure how it's going to end and look when it's done. But that's a really cool out there sci-fi concept. I like that. I don't know if I'll go back and play it.
Kind of neat.
But yeah, that's really cool.
Goalie, you might have to go back.
I'm still going back. I still update it. Like when it comes up, I get all the updates so I can jump back in. You know, I do. It's the only problem is some of the bigger updates are like VR stuff. It's like I don't gonna do the VR, but I mean that is a chill. If you put that on the exploration mode or whatever mode it is, and you just like sit back and fly around, and it is just such a sandbox. That is it's and I know Nick, you were into the story. And you actually followed along. Congrats for that. But I just kind of float around and do my thing and identify stuff. And I mean, it only lasts for a little while. And then, yeah, you are kind of bored out of your mind. But I mean, it's a chill. It's really, when I run out of puzzles, I'm running out of puzzles. I just bought the last puzzle pack for my puzzle game. And I'm almost out of puzzles. So I will be, everybody froze, by the way. Is it me? We froze. Oh, Nick's gone. Edie's
All right.
gone.
I don't know what happened there.
We had a freeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got messages that we had a connection issue.
I accidentally closed the tab because I was trying to close the tab that had the No Man's Sky story, and I mistook the StreamYard tab for it, so I just closed the StreamYard tab.
No. There was something else. We had there was a connection issue I got a connection issue notification.
Are you sure? Okay, because that's real coincidental that it happened at the same time.
Yeah, it just happened at the same time.
Okay. So yeah, you can play as Moira. Yes, Farscape. I want to make my own fucking Farscape ship. That is an underrated show. That show is fantastic. I loved it.
So yeah, that sounds kind of cool. You're thinking of going back, Goalie, now? Now that you've heard that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed it. I've played that game, and it's a good, like I said, it's a good chill game, and I enjoy flying around and just the best thing about it is when you go into the spaceports now, you can get any ship. You don't have to worry about money anymore if you're playing just the exploration mode. So I guess you could just, a guy flies in with his honking ship, like, look at this thing, it's unbelievable. You go over and it's like, hey, I want to buy your ship. And he's like, okay, here you go. Woohoo! I got all this great stuff, and I get more space, and this thing's got XM radio. This is freaking awesome. So yeah, I mean, I love it. I love flying into the little triangle thing there and docking, getting stupid little fetch quest missions. Yeah, this is good times. I haven't played in a while, but I do. I like it.
You mentioned honking, big honking ship. Speaking of honking, how about that for a segue? Untitled Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game. We've talked about this game, right, Goalie?
Yeah.
Where you essentially play a ghost. Oh, sorry, ghost. A goose.
A ghost.
Sorry.
Are
Force
you
of
playing
habit. You play a goose.
Ghost goose.
And
Goose
you run
ghost?
around making mischief and fucking with people. Well, Untitled Goose Game has been getting it won it got an award at the Game Awards in December, and now this little teeny tiny independent game from Australia, a company called a developer called House Goose Game, Untitled Goose Game won the DICE Awards this last week.
That's cool.
The DICE 2020 Awards. It's kind of huge that literally it was up against an amazing amount of games. And, last year, God of War won. 2017, it was the Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda. The year before that, it was Overwatch. So these are big games. And Untitled Goose Game won Game of the Year from DICE.
Well, you know what you can do?
I don't.
Is you get
What?
tons of, around here, we have tons of these things, and they just go around and they just crap all over the place. You go to a golf course, and it is just green poop everywhere.
Yeah.
Even on the baseball field at the high school, sometimes we take the dogs out into the field and we walk around, and there's 100 of these things, and the entire outfield is just covered in poop.
Yeah,
and it's like there's
a
no way.
reason why the phrase is loose as a goose.
Yeah, and there's no way, if I was in high school, there's no way I'd be playing outfield. It's just like, sorry, dude, I ain't playing. I hurt my arm.
Yeah, geese are messy. They're loud, and
They chase us in the golf course. Yeah, we'd be hitting the ball. If you hit the ball near the geese, out of play.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, geese are incredibly aggressive, especially Chinese geese, Chinese horned geese. But Goose Game, Untitled Goose Game, beat Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and Outer Wilds to win DICE Game of the Year.
Well, see, it's Outer Worlds. I don't see Outer Wilds anywhere on this, which makes me question
According to
DICE's.
Polygon, it's Outer Wilds.
Okay, on Kotaku, I have role-playing game of the year, Outer Worlds.
Yeah, that's role-playing game, but we're talking about Game of the Year. The Game of the Year nominees.
Okay, so
Outer Wilds was nominated.
Okay, I've lost all respect for the DICE Awards.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe according to Polygon.
No.
I mean, Polygon could be wrong.
No, I assume they're right. I'm just saying, the DICE Awards has jumped the shark. It's not worth. No. Don't listen to them.
Outstanding audio design with Death Stranding. Action Game of the Year was Control. Adventure Game of the Year was Jedi Fallen Order. Family Game of the Year was Mario Maker 2. Fighting Game of the Year, Mortal Kombat 11.
Sekiro didn't win Action Game? What is going on with them?
Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Pistol Whip. Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, Blood and Truth. Online Game of the Year was Apex Legends. Outstanding Achievement in Animation was Luigi's Mansion 3. Outstanding Achievement Art Direction was Control. Outstanding Achievement in Character was Untitled Goose Game. Outstanding Achievement in Game Design, Baba Is You. Outstanding Achievement Musical Composition, Control. Achievement in Story is Disco Elysium. Technical Achievement, Death Stranding. Racing Game of the Year, Mario Kart Tour. Role-Playing Game of the Year, Outer Worlds. Sports Game of the Year, FIFA 20. Strategy Game of the Year, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Game Direction, Control. And Portable Game of the Year is Sayonara Wild Hearts. But yeah, Game of the Year, Untitled Goose Game. Tiny little developer.
I got nothing against the Goose, but that's such bullshit.
We got to play that game. We got to play that game before we make any aspersions.
No, I don't. I've seen enough of that game.
I think Goalie might like this game.
I'm going to assign
you, Goalie. You need to play and review that game.
Is it PC, PS4, Switch? What?
It's definitely PC. It's on PS4, isn't it? Nick?
What?
Anybody in the chat room?
Goose?
Do you know if it's on console?
I think it's just on Switch for now.
Oh, is it just Switch? Oh, for consoles you mean? But it's on PC, right?
Yes. Yeah, looking at this list, boy, they chose wrong in almost every category. Holy crap. They chose Goose Game and his Game of the Year over Outer Wilds or Disco Elysium or Control, all of which would have been better choices. Action Game of the Year, they went to Control instead of Sekiro, which I like Control, but Sekiro is a better action game. They gave Adventure Game of the Year to Fallen Order, motherfucker. That was a perfectly fine, acceptable game, but it is not better than Resident Evil 2. Adventure Game of the Year. Jesus.
Wow.
And role-playing game of the year, they gave to Outer Worlds instead of Disco Elysium. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so
I'm gonna cut someone here.
Untitled Goose Game is available on Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, and iOS.
Okay.
So yeah, Goalie, it's on 4 if you want to play it there, or on 1 if you want to play it there as well. So yeah, I assign you that game. I think you will like it.
I might take a look at it.
Outstanding achievement in character, Untitled Goose Game?
$20. I'm not spending $20 to report on a goose.
I'll give you $20 so you can report on a goose.
Last time you gave me $20, you know what you want me to do?
Oh, come on.
Drink that bottle of wine. It's a $4 bottle of wine. You gave me $20. You gave me $20 to drink, and it cost you $24.
So yeah, AC Wraith confirms it's on Xbox One and PS4.
Oh, it is. Okay, it must have come out for them then.
It's $19.99. Yep.
Last time I checked, it was on.
Yeah, so feel free to Venmo me $25. I like to tip the developer a little bit, so it's gonna be $25.
No, see, I'll
just
just wait for the game to go on sale and pick it up for $3.
right. So I'll report back in 2025
No.
when
Yeah.
it's a free game.
Just
We'll
just
time
pick
travel
it up,
back.
pick it up this week. Just do me a favor. Pick it up this
Wait a
week.
couple
I'll
months
send
and
you
it'll
20
be
bucks.
one of the PSN free games.
Heartbreak Ridge says they got Outer Worlds, right?
What is Outer Worlds?
Look, I got nothing against Outer Worlds. It looked fine, but from what I understand, Disco Elysium was a much better RPG in every capacity.
Okay. Take your word for it.
Also, fuck the goose.
So, anything else you want to add? Any other items you have? Anybody? Goalie?
Yes, just I need to be careful not to close the tab again. I almost closed the StreamYard tab again. That's dangerous.
God, the amount of telemarketers I'm getting is insane right now.
My
just
I'm
cell
getting
phone.
8 or 9
I just
calls
got a
a day.
voicemail.
My cell phone. 8 or 9 a day on my cell phone. I started blocking
too.
them. I probably have 15,000 blocked numbers on my phone right now.
Yeah, I actually have I now have a feed thing through AT&T, which is my cell phone carrier, called Call Protect, which you can report them. And if you report them through Call Protect, it actually populates to all the people that are using Call Protect. So it says, oh, hey, this number is spam.
Oh, good.
And it does help, not perfectly. It helps a little bit. But
Well, the problem
I'm going to
with
bring
that-
up my
It's like I said, it's not
see.
perfect because this is Goalie got a call one time and it said potential spam, and she answered it, and it was the hospital saying, "Hey, come pick me up from the hospital. I'm ready to go home."
Yep.
Oh, geez.
And she said the only reason she picked it up is she knew she was expecting a call around that time from the hospital, but it come through as potential spam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no
the
joke. And
problem I
she's like,
find-
I almost didn't answer it, and you would have been still in the hospital.
I
you know?
never answer it, and it says potential spam, and it's kind of concerning because, of course, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah, so you
so I'm
don't
answering
know.
everything.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've
Well,
been
the
doing,
problem
I
I
don't know
find
if
with-
you can read this on I actually, this is my in my contacts on my phone. I actually have a
Ticketmaster.
no.
Oh, asshole telemarketer.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So every once in a while, I get a phone call and it says asshole. It's calling.
The problem I have with all that blocking is that I found a lot of the spam calls will spoof real numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Yeah.
if you pick it up as a spam call, if you let it go and then you call them back, you'll be calling a real person. And they'll be like, "What are you talking about? I never called you." And I've had people call me like, "Hey, I got a call from you." What is "No, I never called you." And that's because the number that you see is not the actual number that they're calling from. They're
Oh, I
spoofing
see.
it.
Yeah.
So when
they're
you
actually
block that
not
number,
spoofing. They're not spoofing unused numbers. They're spoofing somebody's.
yeah,
number.
and so when you block that number, it's actually pointless.
Oh.
Yeah, that
That's what
sucks.
I
Yeah,
found.
I get
It's
it.
very frustrating.
Yeah, but the other day I got a call from a Colorado area code, and it said Colorado. I was like, "What the hell?" And it was the hospital saying, "Okay, we're just confirming your appointment." Why would my neighborhood hospital here in the Boston area be using a Colorado area code to remind me of an appointment?
Because they're using a contract company to do all of
Yeah,
that
it's
callback
still
stuff.
not a good idea with all the spam going around. You
Yeah, it
need to
looks
be smart. You
suspicious.
need to think about what's going on.
I do
Yeah,
like that I can
it's
see
so
where the
much
call
worse
comes
than
from.
it's been this year than it has been last year. Like just in the last couple of weeks, it is so much worse.
Yeah, it is. It's phones going off all the time. But you got to be smart if you're one of these people. Be smart because it's just like you don't go on an airplane with a grenade belt buckle. It just don't do it. You're just looking for trouble. Seriously,
I find that I get a lot of spam calls from Hercules, California.
Really?
Yeah, because I can see
Oddly
the
enough.
location, and
Yeah.
half the time it's from Hercules. And I got one from Puerto Rico.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
interesting.
farthest-
I've never
That
gotten
is
anything.
the farthest I've ever gotten a call from.
So I get actually where I tend to get it from is Oakland,
Mm.
Berkeley, and Fremont. No, sorry, Oakland, Phoenix. Get a lot from Phoenix. A lot
Okay.
of spam from Phoenix.
I got one from Russia one time.
Really?
There is. It was
Oh,
Russia.
damn.
Yeah, and I actually answered the phone, and I was like, we're voting for Trump. Are you? I was, oh yeah. No, but I did get one from, I didn't answer, but it was right. I was like, and it was late at night too. It was like, holy cow, 11 at night, Russia? Really? Now I got to deal with this? It's like, what am I going to shut off my phone at night? You know, because it's like they're coming in till like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's all, hey, this is Lisa. Nothing wrong with your credit card. But
I do like begrudgingly respect a lot of the messages they leave on the answering machine, because they sound like real people. And I love the fact that one time the message they left on the answering machine started mid-sentence, and it wasn't actually addressed to me, but it almost sounded like someone butt dialed me. Like the message they left on the answering machine felt like I was overhearing someone else talking about, you know, oh, your interest rates on your car is, well, and we'll talk about this. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of this is
Well,
it's fascinating.
Nick, when you buy a house, you think you got it bad now? Own a house. As soon as you buy a house, literally the minute that it starts to, like, your name starts to get out there as the new owner of the house, and it starts to be filed with the county, your phone and your mailbox blow up. Unbelievable. You don't even have to buy the house.
And it's all real estate people say, hey, you want to sell your house? I just bought it. I just bought it.
I literally I get stacks, like 5 to 10 letters a day about, I want to buy your house, or people phone calling me, probably 5 or 6 a day. I mean, I don't know if you can see, it's not making the lights right now. I probably have 20 voicemails on my home phone, which I never answer because it's the spam phone.
Yeah.
And it's all people either wanting to buy my house or refinance my house or want me to buy another house. So anyway, that's our.
Did you tell them that you play The Sims and that's good enough?
Yeah, it's actually. I bought all the houses I need. I only need one.
Yeah. I have a lot of houses in Sims.
I have a lot of houses.
So
yeah, I got another one.
Yes.
A couple months ago, in January actually, Grand Theft Auto 4 was removed from Steam because of issues with Microsoft's Game for Windows Live service.
Right.
Because it turns out when Games for Windows Live shut down, that service was actually required in some way to create new keys to buy the game. So you couldn't buy the game because the Games for Windows Live service wasn't available, and that was somehow linked to the creation of keys. Now, next month, it will, March 19th, Grand Theft Auto 4 is going to come back to Steam. And it will come back in the form of the Complete Edition, which includes the regular game and episodes from Liberty City, but it no longer supports online multiplayer, which makes sense since Games for Windows Live is gone.
Right.
But yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 4 is coming back to PC.
Which is kind of almost, I mean, I don't want to say pointless, but it's the online multiplayer that makes that game.
No, that's 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. My bad.
Yeah. This is 4.
4.
Yeah, no,
I liked 4.
Rockstar.
4 was great. I liked 4.
Same with me.
I
liked
even liked the
2.
online multiplayer. It was kind of janky, but it was kind
The
of fun.
fire engine going around and hosing people, that was great. I had more fun with 4 than 5. 4 was great.
What was your brother Roman? Your cousin Roman? You want to go bowling?
It was. I thought it just more fun. It was a little more simple to play, and it just the best part is when he went into the house and the TV was on. And this is back when that the poker was really getting popular on TV. I forget what kind of poker that is. The what is that poker game that's always on TV?
I don't know.
And
Texas Hold'em?
No,
that's the only poker game I know.
But I mean, you know how you turn on TV now and it's poker. And it's not the 5-card draw poker, whatever kind of poker they're playing now on TV. I don't know, but it was huge. Was it Texas? But it's called something too on the TV there. It's a certain kind of poker. that's on like ESPN now and stuff like that. But anyway,
Texas Hold'em.
That's what they're playing. But it's. I thought there was a special name for this kind of poker, and I know Texas
TV
Hold'em.
poker.
Yeah, I forget now. But anyway, when they had poker on TV, they might have been playing Texas Hold'em. But it's like you get the river and then the flow. I mean, I forget what kind of thing it was there, but what kind of poker it was called. But anyway, so in Grand Theft Auto 4, when the guy goes in his apartment, they have poker on TV. And the best thing was how ridiculously over the top the announcers were. And the guy's like, all right, here he comes. He's got a pair of twos. Can he do it? He flipped another two. That's three of a kind. I've seen it all now, Jim. I really have. In all my years of broadcasting, I've never seen anything like this. What's he going to do now with those 3 twos? Well, let's look at Jim over here. Jim over here, he's got a pair of queens. He's looking good. Boy, I can't take the excitement anymore. They were so over the top on this TV show about the poker game. It was so hilarious. It really was. And so that's what made Grand Theft Auto 4, that was funny. And just the ease of the game. I just thought it played better than 5. I didn't have much fun with 5.
So yeah, Heartbreak Bridge says Texas Hold'em, the flop, the turn, the river. So, yeah, I mean, that's great that it's coming back, but I don't know that that's that important.
Yeah, Nick does.
I mean, you want it to be on sale. Like Grand Theft Auto 4 is a good enough game that it would be sad if it was removed from all storefronts.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm glad that they brought it back. Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to make for any amount of significant sales at this point, but it is something that needs to be there.
I'm sure it's
you can't have a complete marketplace without Grand Theft Auto 4.
I'm sure it's nothing that Rockstar and Take-Two are like gonna give away, right? Like it makes enough money that they're willing to put in that effort at least.
That's true. My next item is State of Decay. It's getting a big freaking update, and it is massively changing how the game is going to be. It is called the Juggernaut Edition, and it's going to make the game more like No Man's Sky than it has been. One of the things that the developers have heard from people playing No Man's State of Decay 2 was that it had turned into more base management than it was exploration survival. And they're bringing in this Juggernaut Edition, adds in the Heartland, which was an expansion that you had to pay for that I played through, that is more story driven. And it makes it free. So it's all Heartland's now free, everything else. In addition, you're going to get a new weapon class. You're getting new events and new variables, a new map in the Pacific Northwest, and weather effects like fog. So the game really becomes not so much, State of Decay 2 as State of Decay 2.5. It's such a significant update. So one of the biggest problems with that game, but because it was more, because of the way that the game was designed, it ended up being more base management than it was survival. They've made changes now where there is less need for base management and more of survival exploration. They've made the tutorial much better. In fact, one of the developers, a guy named Henry Griffin, who was the product lead at Undead Labs, said, quote, "We have a lot of player telemetry. We can see where they aggregate, how many people reach what parts of the world, where they spend time, where they shoot bullets. One of the things we realized is we have a pretty good steep drop off of players who get into the open world." And they are going to make changes so that the open world becomes a lot more inviting. So, they're going to set way more clearer expectations at the very beginning of the game to encourage people to do more open world exploration earlier, as opposed to sitting around their base and just defending from zombies. And then so that it becomes less of build your base, build your base, build your base, build your base, build your base. Okay, now go to the open world. And then people go, I don't want to do that anymore because I was happy building my base. The outside world is scary. I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's coming. It's going to be free to all players. It's going to be live on March 13th. I am going to absolutely go back to State of Decay to see how those changes have make the game different. Because I loved the open world exploration, and it was a ton of fun with people. It wasn't a ton of fun when somebody invited you to their game and you took your most developed characters and then that person did something stupid and got your character killed, because it's a permadeath game. Once your characters die, they're gone forever. And all of their equipment and everything else, which fucking sucks. But I'm looking at you, Chaos. You did that. You did that to one of my characters. You knew it was a bad idea, and yet you invited me anyway. And then you did something incredibly dumb and got us all killed. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back because that was a really, really fun game. And I'm not a big fan of survival games. I shouldn't say that. I've liked some, but I don't like them all. And State of Decay 2 was definitely one that I enjoyed. And the Heartland I enjoyed even more because there was a very firm story narrative that you were following that made it worthwhile for you to have goals and pursuits and missions. It gave you structure for this crazy world. And I kind of loved it. It added some new features to the zombies and kind of tried to explain slightly more about how the infestation came to be, but moreover, where the infestation is evolving to. So yeah, it's a good, if you haven't played State of Decay or you even considered possibly being interested in the Heartland, pick up the Juggernaut edition, which comes out March 13th. Try that again, March 13th.
I think I played the first one and it was okay. I didn't get very far.
Yeah, you didn't get very far. You didn't like it. And then I played it and I kind of got over that initial hump and it became awesome. I could really see you enjoying this game.
Yeah.
State of Decay?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little hard, like punishing.
If you were with people, I think you'd enjoy it. And this game is that game is definitely made for playing with people, and
like
it's cross platform, which is nice. So it's Xbox One and the Windows play together.
Yeah, it's just I got enough to play. It's just probably not going to make that. I do want to go back to No Man's Sky though. I am intrigued by that, so I need to go do that. And GT 5. I think I bought that again for something.
4, not 5.
4, yeah. I bought that semi cheap, $5. Probably Xbox, right? It wouldn't be PS4, it'd be Xbox.
It'd be an either. Either works. Wait, no. I don't think GTA 4 is on these consoles. I think it's only on 360.
Yeah, but it was
PS3.
backwards compatible for one of them. I think it was Xbox.
Oh, then that would be Xbox. That would have to be Xbox.
Yeah.
It might be now.
And I had fun, but I should go back and play that again. That was fun. That was just, kind of open world, kind of mission-y, stupid fun. That GT4 was good. I liked it. Brucey. Yeah, Brucey. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
I remember Brucey.
Brucey. I never finished that game. I should, because that was a good time. That was a good, fun.
I liked that ending. I really liked that game.
I did like that game too.
Fine, good game. I don't know why.
I liked it. I honestly liked that story way better than I liked the GTA 5 story.
I did too. 5, I got stuck at that one point where I couldn't fly the damn plane. I couldn't land the plane. And I tried for like half hour, 45 minutes. And I says, I am just not having enough fun in this game to do this mission over and fail it over and over and over. I'm not having enough fun. And so, yeah.
5, I think, kind of suffered from the Red Dead problems where it went too far in the sim direction. It wanted to be a big life simulator, and it's like,
I think you're right. Yeah,
give me a good story and crime.
Even the story, I was not that compelled by the story. it just wasn't.
I just
there
didn't
for
like
me.
that big jerk that was, I don't know if it was the trailer park or what. He's being this big jerk pushing people around. It's like,
Oh yeah.
couldn't all these people
Yeah.
he's pissing off enough people, and this guy's
And you
just
end up
like,
playing him.
couldn't enough people just like pick up a sledgehammer and just beat this guy to death, and everybody would be happy in the trailer park. No one would miss this guy, but everybody was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't like that guy. I didn't like
Carl
that.
was his name.
Maybe, yeah.
No,
No,
Carl?
it wasn't Carl. Oh, I'd know it if I'd hear it.
Yeah, I just didn't care for that game, so I'm gonna go back to 4. I like 4.
Okay.
So, Nick, you got another one?
Yeah. There was an update for The Witcher 3 on Switch. It adds a couple graphical options and touch controls for the Gwent card game. But what's most interesting is that it gave you the ability to port your save from the Switch to the PC.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah,
Really?
you can play Witcher 3 on the PC, save. There's like an option that you just upload it to a cloud save, and then you could hop on your Switch and load that save and play it there. So, have Witcher 3 on the go, but also when you get back home, not have a really graphical downgraded version. You can play it on PC.
That was such a good game. Oh my! It took a while to get up to speed and to learn the menus. And if I ever went back, I'd probably have to take several hours to refresh myself. But once you got the menus and you knew how to upgrade and you knew that was so good. But there was a bit of a learning curve in the beginning. I remember of like, what am I doing? I don't know how to do this, and it didn't do a good job of explaining it. But once you figured it out, once you spent enough time with it, it was good.
Yeah, that's the one game every now and then, at least once a month, I keep thinking I should go back to Witcher. I did buy it again after watching the show.
There's some decisions I want to do differently in that, like I killed the blonde witch, and I guess you don't have to. So I don't want to kill her. I want to let her live and see what happens. She was the one that was making the diseases or the infections or something. And yeah,
I don't even remember.
You had to fight. You confronted her, and you ended up killing her. But I guess you can just let her walk away, but that would mean she'd be spreading this disease over the lands. You know what I mean? So, but I guess you can let her live.
I only got past the Bloody Baron quest, and I didn't get too far past that.
That wasn't nearly as good as everybody said it was. Everybody,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was okay, but the whole game was good. But that didn't.
There was there was that main big island, and then you went to a second island, like the third chapter of the game. I can't remember exactly.
Skellig.
Yeah,
the island of Skellig. That was great.
That's right when I stopped playing.
Oh, those islands. That was so good. Fighting the harpies all the way to the island and then getting your ship sunk and having to swim. That map was huge. I remember just walking around that map, finding places.
Trevor. That was his name in GTA 5.
Oh, I hate that
Trevor
name.
Phillips.
Trevor. Such a stupid name.
And we have Sharon Gardner in the chat room.
Yeah, and I got to be careful what I say. So just,
Ixnay on the Ifeway jokes. So
I'm supposed
he
to be
doesn't
working
make
right
any
now.
jokes about you, Sharon. Switcher update is available now, so that's kind of cool that you can Switcher. Is that what they're really calling it? The Switcher, the update. The Witcher
I don't
3
think
on
so,
Switch?
but that's a really good.
I don't know how that would play on this. I'd like to have a nice. You need for the menus. You need a monster screen to read those menus. I don't know how you could play. Stop.
I'm sure they
Stop.
changed a little bit around.
Because those menus were even on the big screen. I was like, he's like, can I read it? I can't read the menu, so I can't picture on a Switch. I'd be like having a thing in my face.
I don't know. I mean, might actually make it better. You can at least take off your glasses and read it like like an old man.
I know, like an old man. Like I'm not an old man.
Yeah, I know. Next
oh, hey, I didn't tell you guys.
Engineer Kevin turns 50 next month.
I'll be 53 in 2 months.
Yeah.
I, for the first time in my life, playing hockey this weekend, last Saturday.
Yeah.
I scored the game-winning goal
Yeah.
in overtime of the championship game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And that is something and I've been playing hockey since the 90s. I have never, I mean, I've scored goals in overtime, in regular season. I've scored goals in championship games, but because when you're in overtime of the championship game, next goal, those are the champs, right? That's it. That's game 7. That's the Super Bowl. There's no more after that. And I scored the goal to give us a championship. And I was like, I scored a holy cow, 53 years old, skating around with all these 20-year-olds. And I scored the goal to give the championship to our team. It was pretty cool. It was really cool. Got to say, I was kind of on cloud 9 the whole day. It was just a
Nicely done.
It's just a Saturday morning league, but you know something? It's something that'll never happen again, probably. It took 25.
Not at our age.
Not at our age, but just the idea to be out there, and the goalie I scored against, we had faced off one other time in championship overtime, and I went in and I had a clear shot, and I went for the corner. And he made the save. He robbed me. He made a spectacular
so this one was
save.
particularly delicious.
Yeah, and so then his team went down and scored too later on in that game. So we lost. I had a chance to win it, and I didn't. He saved the game, and his team won. And he told me after the game, he says, because they started overtime, there was a whistle, and I come off the bench to come on onto the court, and he says, as soon as I saw you come out, he goes, all I could think about was that Tuesday night game where I stopped you. And he goes, and when you scored, it was like, now we're even 1-1,
So now you've created a grudge. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, yeah, you stopped me once in overtime, and I beat you once in overtime. Championship game. That's kind of funny how that went. But
Nice.
yeah, that was kind of cool. 53-year-old man out there, little kids getting it done. And of course, I couldn't walk for 2 days afterwards, but I mean, because I was like, my back hurts.
Actually, I've got some other good news for you, Goalie.
Oh,
Goalie.
you're finally getting rid of Nick? Is it like that good?
No. I got a story
No,
for
it's
you,
never going to
dude.
be that good.
No, you're gonna love this, Goalie. Ready?
Okay.
Thanks to a modder named Levi, there is an Elder Scrolls Oblivion update.
I think I heard something about this.
Completely remastered version of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It's got an additional area, a whole new zone. It is a
Really?
3.4 gig file. New HD character models, updated textures,
Cool.
and more. 2 brand new zones that are comparable in size and detail to Cyrodiil. Both of the zones are fully fleshed out, just like Cyrodiil was, and even contain their own set of quests.
It's got to be PC, I imagine, right?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I played that.
So it's now 3 times, if you play it with that mod, 3 times as large as it was. And 3, like a full game with quests and everything.
When I first played that, I never finished it, by the way. Skyrim, I finished. Skyrim to this day is the only game I've ever perfect scored. Okay, the 200.
Oh.
200, yeah. The only one I've ever perfect was Skyrim. Oblivion, I never finished it. I keep going back and starting it over, and I have fun with Oblivion. And now that I know how to play that type of game, it's even funner. I never finished it, but what I did do that this would be perfect for is I remember taking my horse and riding around the edge of the map and finding cities. And that just, you know how when you play those games, the city pops up and it's like, oh, this is great. So yeah.
So this is the remaster right here.
I am
this is the trailer for the remaster.
I need to go and play this again because that was so fun. Oblivion was so fun. And you know what I did that I screwed up on? I kept like in the beginning of the game, I would go into the gates and I would close all the gates. I'm like, I'm going to get a head start on the end of the game. I'm going to close all these gates. And at the end of the game, I'm going to have less gates to close. Well, that's not how it really worked, I guess. So I just wasted all my time going into the gates and shutting them down.
I remember I put like 100 hours into this game. Yeah. And I don't think I closed a single Oblivion gate.
I closed a lot of them.
I only started to close it just at the end after, like you said, hundreds of hours of playing it.
And I think I stopped playing because the one time I did, it was in a town. The town was destroyed, and it was full of high-level monsters. And I like had a series of quick saves in there, but all of them kind of got fucked up. So that whenever I load a save, the last time I loaded my most recent save, I was stuck in a burned out building surrounded by high-level monsters getting killed. And I think the only save after that was like several hours. And so I kind of just lost motivation at that point because I was like, I'm fucked.
I'm looking here on the Game of the Year edition. It's still $15. The deluxe edition. Well, they're both. Oh, the deluxe edition is $20. I'm trying to think. So where would I go to? I would have to go to the community hub on Steam to see if I could see if the update's on Steam. Because I don't know if it would work with Steam or not.
The mod?
Yeah.
No, it's at, in fact, there's the link right here on the website. It's at nexusmods.com, nexusmods.com.
But how would you, I'm not a mod guy.
Yeah, you'd have to download it from Nexus Mods and then upload it into the files. You have to essentially place some files within the files on your game.
That's still $15, $20, huh? That's still an expensive game.
Yep, good old Elder Scrolls, man. It still prints money.
I would like to go back to Morrowind, but they haven't remastered it, and it's the thing that makes me want to buy Elder Scrolls Online when it's on sale at some point, just because I would really like to go back to Morrowind.
I didn't care for Morrowind.
It's a difficult game. It's a much more just less user-friendly RPG than Skyrim is. But I remember way back when I was working at Macy's, and I would be standing in my department just thinking, motherfucker, I could be playing Morrowind right now. The goddamn it,
Macy's,
this is just such a waste of time. Yeah, I was at Men's Shoes.
Oh God. Oh,
and I was
what a miserable job that must have been.
It was actually great because you know what? Men are very easy when buying shoes. Yeah. They go in, they try something on, and they leave. Women's shoes, that department was fucked. Holy shit. They were maybe once every couple months when we were closing, because I always worked the closing shift, we would be asked to go help women's shoes clean up. And God, men's shoes is crystal clean and everything. You go up to women's shoes and it's just the clearance rack is on the floor. All of it. It's what the fuck happened here?
Don't get between women and their shoes, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to play Oblivion.
I was what's going on here, dude? Why am I having a problem here?
I want to go and close the gates.
So yeah, this is the mod. This is gameplay from the mod that somebody has uploaded.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
What's weird is even with the mods, it looks older than I expected. But I guess Oblivion was an early 360 game.
Yeah, it was 2006.
So it was. Okay, yeah. So it's really old.
Yeah.
You have chosen poorly.
Let's move on to some gameplay here. So he's playing it in third person. But
also, I never understood why people play these games in third person.
Yeah, I don't either.
That was always.
So yeah, there's tutorial quests and everything when you go into it. I'm assuming that but this is all the update.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I started to play what game was it? It was in first person. Maybe it was the Call of Cthulhu. And I started to get some motion sickness in first person games. And I always loved first person, Ghost Recon, Oblivion. And now I find that I need to play third person because I get some sickies going on. And I need to see the character to orientate myself now because it's almost like the VR thing happening. But yeah, I gotta check this out. Maybe I'll just go back and play Oblivion again. I like I said, I rode around on my horse and I just found all these cities and put them on the map and I found the quest. You guys played Oblivion, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever find the city of the invisible people?
I don't think so.
remember. I don't.
Where you went
remember.
into a city and there was nobody there, and it's like, hey, how's it going? You're like, good. Good. Hey, if you wouldn't mind helping us out, there's nobody here. Yeah, we're all here, but we're all kind of invisible. There was like a spell or something cast on our whole village, and we're all invisible. It'd be really, really great if you could help us, break the spell. Okay, so then he sends you off like not that far away, and you got to go battle something and bring a book back or something to bring everybody back, and then you go back and they all reappear from being invisible. It was like that was ingenious little fetch quest. That was one of my favorite things about that game.
So, according to AC Wraith, there is an installer tool that helps you manage your mods, and he has uploaded a link that's to a website, how to install Nexus mod in Oblivion Steam. So there's your instructions on how to do it.
So you would need a copy of the game, probably outside of Steam.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
No, I mean, that's where it is. You've got a link right here to how to get a Steam downloaded or Steam game in Oblivion on Steam, off of Steam, to install the Nexus mod. Mods are not always a bad thing anymore. I mean, shoot, PlayStation 4 allows Sims mods, which I completely, last week, that's what I was saying. It's like last week I thought, it's nice, but you can't play any of the mods. You can play the expansion packs, but you can't play mods. But actually you can. You hit all 4 controllers, you hold them down, and a prompt comes up that allows you to put in a code to do a cheat. So it allows cheats. So mods and cheats are not as bad as they used to be seen that, oh, I don't want anybody to mod your game and you don't want a cheat code. That's cheating. Now it's accepted and with certain games. So yeah, this is looking like serious, legit update.
It might be. I'm reading that link there. It might be easy, and it might be not easy. So it could just be and put the installer in, choose what you want to download. But other times it's saying, oh, you might need to install this OBSE thing, and then install this, and sacrifice a chicken and stuff like that. So
I would say give it a shot. Give it a shot. The worst that could happen is that you lose patience and you don't do it. And if you buy it on Steam and you actually haven't played the game, you can get a refund off of Steam. So, my AC Ray says mods have always been a great thing on PC. Yeah, it's kind of been a thing in the world.
If you can get them to
PCs,
work.
but never. But that was the whole thing about consoles, is you could never mod things on consoles. And it was only till Skyrim came out when they said, hey, guess what? You can use mods on Skyrim and PC on console. And that's how I started modding on the console. And now games that have a culture of mods and cheats are allowing mods and cheats. Yeah, AC Wraith points out mods add content, but that can be the case. But back in my day, the developers said because they couldn't control the content of mods, that they didn't want a mod to affect gameplay because they couldn't quality assure that there was going to be a good experience from it. And developers were afraid that the developer would get blamed because the mod wasn't good. If you make a product, you want to be the person that controls the experience of that product, whether it be a Coca-Cola or whatever. And now it's understood that gamers are people who mod understand that it is not the developer's fault if a mod doesn't work.
Yeah, but you can't put ketchup on the steak and then blame the cook.
Thank you, Love Boat. I remember that episode.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here, because we get each other's jokes.
And Nick's just sitting there like,
right, exactly. Captain Stubing put ketchup on a steak, and the chef took offense, and it became the whole meaning of the episode was
I
the
still
the
don't
battle
know
between
what
the
you're
chef and
talking
Captain
about.
Stewing. Love Boat.
Oh.
Episode of Love Boat. Very fun.
Soon you'll be making another
Another
run. The
The
love
The
boat.
virus boat.
Oh, I know, huh?
Oh man, what a terrible way to end your freaking
Don't
vacation of a lifetime.
Don't go on
Your
cruises.
Cruise on Japan, around Japan.
Yeah,
Oh,
getting everybody sick.
Speaking of coronavirus,
Yes.
Sony canceled its appearance at PAX East over
Really?
coronavirus concerns.
Oh, I didn't even think about PAX East and the potential for that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
that's why.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going. I'm not even going to read about it.
And there's been another sorry. There's been a number of things that have been canceled. There was something else that was recently, the whole thing was the Facebook. The big Facebook convention.
And those racing got canceled?
Yeah. Facebook canceled the Facebook conclave of all of their companies coming together, like do it as an annual thing. It's kind of like a convention, but it's not open to people,
I didn't even think
open
about
convention.
PAX East. It's like, oh boy.
Where they, have all of their major content creators and then also people from the company from throughout the world, la 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 la, and they canceled it because of the coronavirus. Yeah, this is serious shit going down, dudes. And Nick, do you have anything?
I'm getting hungry.
Oh. AC Ray, or sorry, Fighter Race says, "LOL, the inside jokes." Hey everyone, hey, how you doing, dude?
If you get them, they're hilarious. If you don't, then
yeah, I got nothing.
It's like
all right,
watching The
then
Simpsons.
I've got a couple
talking
more.
About Love Boat.
Yeah, once we did that, then you just kind of your brain just froze up.
Checked out. Check.
I've got a couple more. One, so you know that Hasbro has been in recent years creating Nerf guns and like super soakers and stuff from popular video games. Overwatch got some super soakers and some blasters. Fortnite got some Nerf guns. The most recent one now is Halo. Halo is getting a Nerf blaster.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Including the Needler.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Just makes me so happy. Seriously, makes me completely thrilled. And I'm trying to bring it up, but I can't find my freaking screen for it. Stand by. I've got layered over layers of screens here. I'm just getting some photos up here. All right, here you go. There is your Super Soaker of the UNSC.
Okay.
Nerf gun. We've also got there's the Needler.
That's neat.
God dang it. There we go. And sorry about the ads for freaking TurboTax, shitheads. And then let's see if we can view all images. There you go. So how awesome would that be to have a Nerf gun? It's going to make cosplay a lot easier.
You'll want a more realistic looking gun than that.
I don't know. The Needler doesn't look bad. It wasn't bad at all.
I like the Needler.
Yeah, it was good, but it's not cosplay good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. You just take off, just scrape off the Nerf logo and the Halo logo. It looks like a freaking Needler. So yeah, I mean, I'm not adverse to that at all.
Oh, I'm not adverse to it, certainly.
So yeah, that's something to look forward to. And there you go. Fighter A says, "Oh my God, I need to look this up. Nerf for the win."
Yeah.
Then my next item is, man, I gotta get dual screens again. This is just getting silly.
There's a long article on Polygon about GameStop, and just about
I was just about to bring it up because that was one of my next items. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just about the decline of it and just how the store managers and the retail employees can just feel the desperation from the upper management, and how no one thinks it's really going to last. Like all of the tactics that they're doing to kind of maximize profit is doing more harm than good.
Mm-hmm.
And one person was quoted as saying, they're just trying to keep investors happy and pad their bonuses before they parachute out.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah, everyone at GameStop is just kind of waiting for it to die.
Yeah.
For good.
The Polygon article is
the morale is like the morale just sounds depressing.
Yeah.
And which is sad because it sounds like the depressing part comes from the upper management, that they're just like the person said, they're just trying to wring as much out of everyone below them as they can before they jump ship.
Mm-hmm. Or before their ship sinks completely with them on board. According to the article, which is out of Polygon, they did a number of anonymous interviews via text and email because they wanted to maintain utter anonymity for the GameStop employees, because of course they're still employees, and they wanted them to speak very freely about what the fuck's going on behind the scenes at GameStop as the company is going under slowly but very definitively. And they said that they're tightening the regime of sales targets, super strict sales targets. And remember the company scripts where you pick up the phone and it's hi, welcome to GameStop, where this week we have for like 5 minutes before you can actually go say, what time do you close? They're just ratcheting down on those customer scripts, and the scripts are getting more and more intrusive, and the managers are demanding that the employees do them because they're, according to one of them said, quote, I've seen a change in sheer desperation the company has toward its profit margins. And that was one store manager who's apparently worked for the company for years. He said, the company is frantic and distrustful. You can feel it in every message they send. The structure is falling apart and they're scrambling. Another manager said, my store is well known for solid sales performance, but customer traffic has dipped significantly in the past 2 years. Aside from expected high traffic days like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and major release days, we're missing our daily sales plans almost every single day. And of course they're calling it a combination of digital downloading and the death of brick and mortar stores across the entire retail landscape. But yeah, they are doubling down on, the GameStop is doubling down on its effort to find high price margin activities like hardware. They're desperately trying to get more used hardware in, so that they can get more used high margin profit hardware back out as fast as they possibly can. So they're buying consoles and smartphones and tablets, and then they refurbish them, and then they pump them out. One assistant manager said, things have changed drastically. Our district manager is pushing tech trades like iPhones and tablets, as well as pre-order reservations. Here's my PSA to all GameHounds listeners. Do not pre-order anything from GameStop. Just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be money that
so
you will
what
never
we should
see
do
again.
is the three of us should approach GameStop and say, look, we want to buy GameStop. And the guy's going to say, well, we're worth $1 million. And we'll say, well, we'll give you $1,500. That would be GameStop and GameStop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Well, we'll give you $1,000.
If you wanted this company new, it would be several billion.
Exactly.
But, it's used.
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, and you don't have the instruction manual.
You've taken off the shrink wrap. It's open. There's a little bit of wear
It's been
tear.
opened, you know.
And we
I
got
think-
so many of these in stock right now.
I know.
I think the disc has
seriously.
been scratched.
So I mean, we'll give you $1,000 for GameStop just to be nice guys today.
Right, exactly. Or you know what? We can give you $10,000 in trade-in credit.
Yeah, do you
for
want that
your
in
next
cash?
company.
Or do you want that in GameHounds credit? All right, I gotta eat. I'm starving. Wrap this up.
I know. All right.
Wrap
So
this
my
up.
last item, it's super short. Battlefield 5 is going to get a super important update coming out. Dice's community manager Adam Freeman said on Twitter that the change affects the first sector of Solomon's Islands, and anybody who has played this through the breakthrough knows that this is a very difficult map if you are defending, because the attackers have it's essentially the Solomon. It's a straight line around this kind of arced set of kind of islands, like mini islands, and the attackers have 4 tanks, and they pretty much just roll right over you. That you just can't win. So Dice has looked at all the stats, because they can see all the stats and see that not a lot of teams actually are able to defend. It's pretty well weighted through attackers. So they are making an update to reduce the amount of tanks from 4 to 2, so that you can actually defend against Solomon Islands, and to balance the battlefield for second sector. And it happened, I believe it happened over the weekend, or if it's happening next weekend. It's either last weekend or this week coming up weekend. In addition, they're going to Battlefield 5's Into the Jungle update. That's the name of the update, by the way. Into the Jungle includes a Type 11 LMB, a Model 37 shotgun, an M2 carbine, and a bunch of more guns. So this update, more stuff, plus an adjustment to the Solomon Islands so that it's not such a sucky map to defend against. So there's that.
Good.
So yeah, Chris Salazar says they should have community events instead of just trying to sell products. That would increase traffic in the stores. Board game tournaments, in-house LAN parties. Yeah. You know what? You're already making better decisions for GameStop than GameStop has made for GameStop in the last 10 years. But honestly, that's the problem. The people that bought GameStop the last time it got bought, they fucking don't care about gamers. They just come from a retail experience. They have no understanding of the culture. And this is what ends up happening when you rip off people for so long and don't understand them.
That's part of it. I just think it's kind of like Blockbuster. It ran its course. It did what it could. You know, Blockbuster went from VHS to DVD, and then now it's streaming. So nobody needs the discs anymore. And GameStop, they didn't quite evolve as well, and they had the reputation of that. But at the same time, who else is going to buy your stuff? I mean, I know it sucks. You walk in with 6 games and they give you $1.50, but it's what's the choice? Not many people are going to buy that from you. There's no other places that buy it. So so you either had a house full of games or you get $1.50 towards another game. I mean, right. I thought they had their day. I used them a lot. I enjoyed going to them and traded in, get $15 toward the new game. That's how I bought a lot of new games. I wouldn't have got new games if it wasn't for GameStop.
Right, but GameStop could, when it stopped being, it knew that digital downloads were going to eat its lunch. And it was just a matter of time. They knew it. And if they didn't know it, they had no business being in the games business. I knew it. I knew it 10 years ago, 12 years ago when we started this podcast. I said digital downloads are eventually going to kill GameStop. Yep. And I was literally doing a little happy dance because we fucking hated GameStop because they'd been ripping us off so long. 10 years. This wasn't a quick thing. This wasn't all of a sudden happening. They've had 10 years to prepare for this. In those 10 years, they could have been creating a community support. And I'm not just talking about not ripping off gamers. I'm talking about, like what Chris said, create a space that becomes your, what Starbucks called your third place. First place being home, second place being work, third place.
Yeah, but you would need a big place for that. I mean, you go into GameStop now, you can't even walk. You can't
Right.
walk in a GameStop. It's like Furbies everywhere, you
But
know?
they still could have done it in the evenings when GameStop is not that busy. They could have had community events. There's a reason why D&D companies, why games like tabletop game companies are still around. It's because there is no substitute for the face-to-face experience. The one thing that GameStop had was human beings. It wouldn't have games in 10 years because digital download was going to take games away from them. They could have had human beings. They should have sold the community, the human touch. And that's what they didn't do because they didn't fucking care. They knew this was coming. This was not a quick crash. They just didn't
Part of
care.
it for me was I wanted to save money and buy a used game. I know that's the terrible thing to do, but I mean, you know, if it's a $60 game, if I could get it for 40, great, I'll save some. But the problem is they were selling games that were relatively new for 55.
Right.
So it's like $5. I'm going to save $5 on a used game. No, I'll just get it new. Thanks.
They made their profit margin being essentially highway robbers, pirates. I mean, not pirates, but at least highway robbers for a long time. And 10 years ago, they knew that this day was coming. And they did nothing to change their business model. It was full steam ahead right into that iceberg. And AC Ray said, why did they have to take out electronic boutiques first? That's another condemnation of them. Electronics boutique was the human touch. Everybody loved EB for a lot of different reasons, but EB had a feel that was not this corporate, just give me your money and get the fuck out of the door experience. And GameStop bought them and killed them. So they already literally had the book on how to make it in this world as a game store that had a human touch, that had something unique, and they decided to kill it. And not even that, they threw away the plans and didn't go back. They had a brand that we loved. They literally could have relaunched EB Games 10 years ago, made it more like a game store as opposed to a shop where you just were treated like ass, and they didn't. GameStop is dying because of its own stupidity. Bottom line, they don't deserve to be saved. So anyway,
Yeah.
Let's see. Last
Way to end the
comment.
show
Last
on a
comment. I remember
downer.
the last time I went to GameStop was to buy a Last of Us because they had some exclusive code thingy. Yeah, those aren't going to last very long. All right. On that note, anything else before we close out this show? I do want to remind us, I haven't mentioned it yet, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/GameHounds. Please donate to our Patreon. We're literally asking for $1 a month. We have thousands of listeners, and putting these shows together and expanding them, not cheap, costs us money every single month. So any way that you could help us, we would appreciate it. We've been doing it for 12 years out of our own pockets. This ensures the next 12 years of GameHounds. I will be doing this till I'm 60. So it's just, how good is it going to be? I'd like to make it the best experience possible. And we can do that with your help. Patreon.com/GameHounds. All right. So, you ready to close out this show, gentlemen?
Yep.
All right. And let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 533. It was recorded on Wednesday, February 18th, 2020. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We do record this show live every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. You can listen to us live as an audio podcast. You can also see us live through video as we do the show. It is on YouTube under GameHounds Vids. That's VIDS as in videos, or on Facebook under The GameHounds. You can download us off of Spreaker after the fact, or stream us, stream our audio after the fact on Spreaker, or you can listen to us on iTunes podcasts and also on iTunes. Download us there as well. If you do listen to us on iTunes or on iHeartRadio, which we are also there, please leave us feedback so other people can find us. We have a Facebook page. It is lovingly curated by our very own piss boy, Steve M. Hawk Ortegon. And you can find us at The GameHounds on Facebook. And if you are interested in anything that we talked about, any of the links that we mentioned, whether you listen to it on audio or watch it on video, you can go back to any of the places where we stream, Facebook, Spreaker, and YouTube. Look in the comment section. All of our links are added of everything we talked about by our very own link bitch, AC Ray. Thank you again for doing all of the links and essentially being a major contributor to the show. You're kind of our fourth chair, and we appreciate it. All right, Goalie, Nick, we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, I gotta go. I got this spam call coming in. I gotta take.
All right, talk to you later, dudes. Bye.
Bye.
And we are out. All right. Also, don't forget, if you're listening to us on the podcast, Barbara says have a good weekend. And if you're listening in the video, if you're still with us, don't forget we do have where is it? grandpashiddenchest.com for the new radio show, the radio drama. Find out what's in Grandpa's chest.
Hopefully you have episode 3 out by this weekend. I got a busy couple days of work, but I'm going to try to slip it in. We recorded today. We'll get you guys on there. Episode 3. So, and Nick, get working on that episode, because I have an idea all the way up till I get into the bunker what's happening. But
okay. Then I'll
need you to write the demon part.
Okay. I was actually like on Wikipedia looking up like what is the bunker that
I did too. I went on YouTube and I watched like 5 or 6 videos of like what happened that last day, fateful hours, and how people were just like deserting him, and he was alone in there, and people knew it was the end, and they were just waiting for it. So I have a pretty good idea what was happening. So I think we can weave in our little story of that. So
okay, and if you want to find out how it ends, check out grandpashiddenchest.com. All right, everybody. Thank you. Talk to you guys next week, if not before then.
All right. Sounds good.
And if you need any other voice work, let me know.
Yeah, as I come up with it, we'll add some stuff in.
Yeah,
so.
I can always rope Nick in for a, extra little private chat like this so that we can do some audio for you if you want.
Sure. Well, see how this one comes out. I might have to cut Nick out and insert something else, but I mean, aside from that, it might work.
Yeah, that's my life.
We've always got engineer Kevin too.
This is true. This is true.
Because adding extra voices does make things sound good and not auto-tuning them.
Yeah, it does. When you add some stuff in there. So, but Grandpa's voice doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, it is what it is. So, All right, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.